Boom. All right. Hello. I'm back. Kiesel CT6. This has MD12 in the bridge and a whole Allen Holdsworth in the neck. If you don't know what that is, it probably means nothing to you. I barely even know what it is myself. I just know it's a good sound. Right now, let's see. I want to go into mode. Let's go into 5 rig mode. How about that? We'll go to the top left, hit set list, and we will make a new set list. We'll just add in 1 rig for now. Call this HTS. Make sure we got that capitalized. HTS rigs. Come on, I know how to type. I really do. HTS rigs. July 24. Bam. Okay. So then when we go back, we can look for that name. HTS rigs, July 24. And there's whatever random rig that I just happened to pull up. So let's go ahead and see what this sounds like. Hey now. We got some fuzz going on in there, some octafuzz. Now it's a funny story. I'm probably not even telling this right. But how does this go? I think Jim Marshall used the Bassman as a template of sorts to make the Marshall Plexi. Because all there really was at the time was Fender amps. There might have been a few other things here and there, but as far as I know, it's just mainly Fender. There's also some Vox and maybe like a Gibson Skylark or something. But yeah, so the Bassman has been around for many, many decades now, and it's just been used by countless people to play blues and rock and jazz and African music. I mean, I don't know, whatever. All right, so y'all come on in. Let me know your name, where you're from, and what kind of Headrush unit you have. I'm open to take questions on other units as well, but I'll eventually bring it all back to the Headrush. So this guitar also has a push-pull tone pot that turns the humbuckers into a split coil. So there's the bridge, here's the middle, which is both. I really don't like this pick. This is like a big purple pick, but the end of it feels weird, and it has like these little grippies in the middle, but it really didn't work all that great. There's also the V-Pick Dimension, which actually toured Europe with one of these picks. And I had a bunch of them at the end of the stage, and some Spaniard person stole them. Those Spaniards, I tell you what. It was my fault for leaving them there. They didn't know. They were excited. So I think a NAMM show back in like, I don't know, 2012 or 2013, 14, something like that. This has some scuff marks on it. What's been going on here? This is a really thick pick. You can't really see that, but apparently when you get your skin on it for a certain length of time, like it kind of warms up and it's supposed to stick to your fingers. I don't know if that's true or not. I know one thing. I need to clean off the screen here. All right, so let's dive right in, lest we be here forever and nobody shows up. So hit the plus button on top, and I usually like to start in the middle. only because I know I want some drives and some stuff before the amp, but also some delays, reverbs, modulations after the amp. So instead of, like for example, if instead of hitting the first block, adding the amp, which I can totally do. My Bassman, for example, it's not the tweed bass. I mean, it is technically the tweed bass, but let's see what else we have here. The Black Duo, yeah. We'll go with the 59. So this gives us a normal, a bright, a presence, a treble, a mid, and a bass. Okay. Not too bad. Not a bad way to start. Now for the cab, I kind of go back and forth between cabs. Let's go really traditional here. Let's go with a 4x10. And let's just see what happens if we stick with a SM7 or a SM57 on axis. And I kind of wish we could move it around a little bit, like on other units, but we can't. So. Okay, so you can hear it's kind of flubby in the bottom end there, and there's different ways to correct that. But for example, we can turn the bass all the way down. I was watching worship tutorials last week, and they did a video on the Deluxe Reverb and how it's the most recorded amp and blah 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 whatever. And the guy who actually owned the amp that was in the video, they were both in the video. He said that to get a nice Marshall tone, you crank the amp all the way up and then you roll the bass all the way off, and then you just got this really mid-rangey kind of barky Marshall-y sound, which is kind of neat. So what we can do here is let's start off with a nice clean tone. And what we're going to do, since we're in 5 rig mode, I'm going to build 5 different rigs that we can have across the switches here, and then we can just switch between them. Very similar to a workflow of the Kemper, which is essentially a Kemper has a performance that you then put 5 different rigs in, and then you can still, switch between rigs. You can have the certain number of stomps assigned to the 4 switches above the rig switch, and you can turn things on and off. They do have a really cool morph feature that really nobody else has, and yeah. But other than that, the Headrush is still really cool. So we're going to go with the bright and the normal pretty low here. I like to kind of have both channels up just enough, and then we can tweak it from there. So. Okay, that's my bridge. If I go to the neck pickup. And I'll grab my my Stratty S-style guitar over here as well, so you can hear it in both kind of scenarios. So I'm trying to pick lightly to get that clean kind of sound. And then when you dig in, especially on the bridge pickup, so there's a lot of people that just love a good clean tone, and that's really all they dial things in for. But then the other half of the world of guitar players, they really like the edge of breakup kind of sound. So let's kind of go halfsies here. Let's start with a really clean, and then on the next rig, we can make our edge of breakup tone. Okay. So now you've seen that I have the amp and the cab very first in the chain, which is fine. But that means I can't add things before it unless I move it around. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag it to the second lane here. And that's going to give me plenty of blocks in the front, plenty of blocks behind it, and we can just kind of add whatever. So let's add a compressor. And it wasn't long ago where I tried the gray comp for something, and I think I turned the sustain all the way down and maybe the level all the way up. And that definitely gives you a little bit of squish. Okay, we can add the do the neck pickup. Yeah, I can definitely tell there's a little squishiness going on there. All right, now if you're watching right now or whatever, I see you people out there watching. Let me know your name, where you're from, and what kind of Headrush modeler that you have, and I'll have to know who I'm entertaining here. Okay, so it didn't have to be a lot of compression. But since we're kind of going for a real clean sound, when I dig in, the compressor knocks off those transients as I'm striking the strings a little bit harder, and it's limiting the amount of aggression going into the front end of the amp. So that's cool. I like that. The gray comp. Now, I'm going to do a video probably tonight, and I'll release it over the weekend. But just for you guys who are watching, I would love if Headrush added a mix/blend knob to literally everything. That would be so cool, because you could have all the drives, all the compressors, all the whatevers, and blend in your dry tone a little bit and get totally drastic sounds from otherwise you wouldn't be able to. So but especially with the gray comp, you can get really compressed really fast, which I'm not a fan of. But if you dial back the blend knob or the mix knob to add in your dry signal, man, you would have the best of both worlds there, and that would just be amazing. But Headrush hadn't done that yet, so that's been on my list for like 5 years, and I've told them forever, and they just hadn't done it. So one of these days, I will save. I'm not going to put a name to it yet, but let's actually pull this down. We'll go to the other rig and remove it. So now we just have our one empty rig here on the bottom. Okay. Pretty sure in 1959 they mainly just had spring reverbs. So let's go with a very traditional option here. We'll add the spring reverb. So reverb, spring, and we'll do standard. Okay, it's definitely very washed out. The diffusion helps to kind of takes all those separate reverb or like separate delay patterns that make up a reverb, and it kind of morphs, like squishes them together. If you take the diffusion off, you get this, which is it's a sound, We'll take the mix down a little bit. I've never been a surf rock kind of guy, but that's just the kind of sound that reminds me of. We can also bring the tone down a little bit on this reverb to not make it as bright and springy. Right, we can make it blend in a little bit more. We can make it all the way bright. You hear all that extra little tail going on? Okay. Just all options here. We'll go back to around 8K. And we'll bring the mix down a little bit more. We'll make it the full width, and we'll also make the tails on, which means, check this out. If you don't know this, you want to have the tails on, because when you bypass the effect and then the tails are off, then that effect will be cut off and it won't keep ringing out like you want. So, or maybe how I want. So, okay, I think okay, let's turn the tails off there. Okay, so for example, okay, see how the tails turned off? Okay, we'll want to go back and turn those back on. Okay, this is a great little clean Bassman sound. And we can do maybe, let's add 2 different delays. Let's do a tape echo, true to form of the era and the genre we're kind of going for here. Okay, definitely need to bring the mix of this down. Mix up. There we go. Okay, let's make it really short. Let's go like somewhere between like 100 and 200 milliseconds. Okay, not too bad. Whoops. Let's bring it back down. Maybe around 200. Okay. Mix down a little bit more. Okay, tails on. I never really noticed that the hiss turns on. I don't really hear it audibly come on, but let's turn that mix up a little bit more. What's the point of having it in there if you can't hear it and feel it? Okay, let's do one more. Let's turn off that delay and do one more here. I like the dyne delay. It's just a good all-around digital delay. Okay. The ratio in this parameter here is very interesting because if you have it on 0, it keeps the subdivision exactly as is. So if you have it set to quarter notes, which I do, it's going to be quarters. So I'm going to tap this in. I actually can't tap it in. Hold on. So, right. So there's my quarter notes. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. If I bring the ratio back to a -50, it's now going to keep the quarter note on one side, but it's going to make it half of the original duration on the right side. It's not even an eighth now. I think it's more of like a dotted eighth. Because if I did like 25%. Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe 30-ish%. It's more like a triplet. 50%. Yeah, I think that's more of like a dotted eighth kind of sound. Let's do like 75-ish%. Ooh. And then ratio negative 100. Okay. So that's more of like an eighth note. So you got a quarter on one, then you got the eighth on the other side. Give me that dot, 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 dot. Yeah, so I think half of that is going to be your dotted. Yeah, cool. Let's bring up the mix a little bit more. All right, very good. Let me check my routing here. We should be all good for the routing, so. Because I'm hearing it in my headphones. So you should be hearing it in your side as well. Okay, so there's some basic delays. We got a slap back and we have a more U2-ish kind of deal going on there. Let's add in a tremolo. I'm a tremolo guy. You can let me know what effects you like, but tremolo is really my go-to. I did have an electric mistress once upon a time that I used on my pedal board for something. It's a very cool pedal, but I'm not really big into flange normally because I'm just a blues rock kind of player. I guess you can use flange for like different rock stuff, but I just never really been into it. So, with that said, we'll do a stereo 8. Ooh, crazy. Okay, that's a little too hard for me. And what we're getting out of that is, let's make the phase 0. And then we'll make the depth a little bit less. And we can turn the sync off and have it more of a specific rate. I feel lonely in here, guys. I need some people in the chat kind of, saying hi or something. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. So if you want the phase, if you wanted like a weird, like hard panning kind of thing, you kind of want it about 180 degrees. Till I get there. Okay, so you can hear it kind of go back and forth. What's up, Dwight? That's weird. We could do 90 degrees. Not like the boy band, by the way. I think that was 98 degrees, maybe. That's trippy, but it can sound really cool with like a stereo kind of setup. Yeah, I like that. Okay. There's a cool. Actually, I'm gonna save that as a block preset. So save new preset, doc, st trim. So that way I can get back to that sound later if I want to on other rigs. Okay, now back in 1959, what else would they have had in 59? Not really a lot. I mean, they wouldn't have had a lot. The Stones didn't come out with like Satisfaction until like the 60s. That's where they had like the Univox and the Fuzz benders and the whatever type stuff. So, but for fun, let's add a fuzz something. The round fuzz is your fuzz face, and that's like right. That's pretty fuzzy. Ooh, it's crazy. Crazy. Okay, I'm on the neck pickup here. Interesting. Let's experiment with a few more fuzzes here. Let's go with the Octafuzz. Neat. All right. I like that one better. But let's just do a good like boost. Let's do like a white boost beforehand. And we'll have the gain down, the level up. Okay. Yeah. So if you're into like that bluesy, dirty rock something, then that's a cool sound. All right, so with a simple white boost and maybe dumping some bass. Which it sounds different on the bridge pickup. Let's add a little bit of gain. Yeah, it's a sound. So we can also experiment with a tube screamer here. Low. Which honestly, if it's not in front of just a nice cranked amp, I'm not a big fan of the Tube Screamer. Not for this sound anyway. So we're still keeping it kind of clean. Dwight, hope you're doing good, man. Alright, so let's just say this is our rig in 1959, even though I'm sure some things wouldn't even be there. Yeah, I like this. So we'll save it. We'll call it HTS. I gotta remember to capitalize these things. We'll make it simple. HTS July 24 B-Man CL for clean. Yeah, let's kind of go with a Kemper style workflow here. So we're going to keep everything about this rig and then just keep saving as a new one. Okay, so we're going to hit that. Save new rig. HTS July 24 Beeman Crunch. Okay, so we're going to get a little crunchy now out of this thing. I do declare. And let's experiment a little bit. Let's go with like 40% on both of these channels here. Now, let's not go all the way there just yet, because we were on 20% before. Let's kind of go with that edge of breakup kind of sound. Okay, so there it is on the bridge. Okay, if I go to the middle position. Okay. It's definitely falling into the overdrive category, but let's roll off some of that bass. Okay. I'm okay with that. It's meant to be a little rock and roll here. So let's push the mids, push the top end. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So there's a good crunch tone. We can still kick in our boost. Or we can kick in our octafuzz. That's raunchy. Okay. A little delay. Or our slapback delay. Okay. Pretty cool. Let's check the comments here. I've been knocking off some dust on my Jackson bass guitar. Cool. Yeah, those Randy Rhoads Jacksons are nice. yeah, it's a good all around. What happened here? What happened? Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'll deal with that later. Based off of this one, let's save as one more time. HTS July 24 lead. We'll call it a lead. We'll call it a lead sound. And we are going to just crank the snot out of this thing. How about that? Let's keep the bright down, but the normal up so it's not as bitey. Maybe the opposite. There's a little bit of bass in there. Very cool. Maybe turn the presence down. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Set list. ... We will do this. So now you can see we have a clean crunch and a lead. We will save that set list. Yes, we will. Let's see. Going back to my clean here. This pick is glassy. It definitely has a glassier tone to it. Let's try this one down here. I dropped all my picks earlier, and now I picked them up, and I was like, oh, hey, I didn't remember having that pick, but I'm trying it now. Yeah, that works. Crunch. Okay, and lead. Okay, now the key here is to check our output source. And let me go to my mixer and see how loud I'm juicing this thing. Not loud enough. So, I like to get my signal right at 0, if not just 1 bar below. That gives me plenty of headroom. But also what that means is I just need to raise the rig volume here. Alright, pretty good. It's getting louder, isn't it? It's getting loud for me. I'll turn my main down just a smidge. I usually like my main around like 7 to 9, somewhere in there. So this should be good. Maybe just a little bit more for you guys. All right, so now that I've have a visual on the gain structure of my output, I can go to the next rig. cool. Save it. Go to the next one. Okay, so you can't worry about the number too much. You just keep raising it until it's just right at that 0 mark or slightly below. And that lets you know you're in a more consistent ballpark than, one rig being super low and the other one being really high and some of them in the middle and whatever. So. All right, so if I was at a jam session, I would probably be like, yeah, that's good for me. Now, the only problem I'm seeing with the naming is the HTS July 24 is all at the front. And so I can't, if you didn't know what rigs they were, you just have to like try them all out till you memorize what they were. So it might be better to do like clean Beeman HTS July 24, crunch Beeman HTS July 24, lead beam, so far. So you kind of start the naming with the type of sound it is. And then the HTS July 24 can come later. But that's really just for my purposes. Once you download these, you can alter the name however you want and make them any color that you want and all that. So for example, if we go to hardware assign, this is where we can change the color of our rigs. So if you like, let's see here. If you like your clean to be, green, for instance, okay. Actually, no, that was the set list I just changed. How would I change this? Ew. Okay, let's try this one now. So hardware assign, let's make crunch be orange. We'll save it. Okay, and as you can see, the color changed. That's cool. Go to my lead, and we're going to make it red, because red is angry and fierce and whatever. Okay, so now we got green for clean, orange for crunch, and then red for lead. So that can be another way you can kind of name scheme and color code things to where no matter what preset that you're on or what set list that you're on, the color indicates, if it's clean, crunch, lead. Maybe you like ambient stuff. Maybe you like whatever your oddball rig is, whether that's some crazy flangey, chorusy kind of thing, or I don't know, whatever you deem worthy for your set list there. Now that's the other thing with me versus probably one of any of you guys is I do not play in a band anymore, and therefore I don't force myself to really organize presets and rigs from all these different units that I use or that I do reviews on and tutorials on. I just don't have to put them all in a set list and be sure I hit each song one right after the next. I can just kind of jam and do whatever I want. And then when I do play at church, we're only playing like 2 or 3 songs anyway, and I mainly just stick with one preset or one rig, as the Headrush calls it, for the whole service. So I don't really need the quick ability to like switch between different songs and different, intro, verse, chorus, bridge, solo, all the different things that you would, might want to do for a set list, especially if you're in a cover band or maybe you do a band with originals and you need a certain order of all your rigs to be however they need to be. So anyway, it's an interesting thought on the philosophy behind how to build the rigs, what order do you put them in, you know, do you put them in a set list, you know, all the stuff. So now Dwight Bailey, he's chatting it up here, but I need some other people following suit. So I need to know who you are, where you're from, and what kind of Headrush unit that you have. Yeah, you get a little rock bluesy thing going on there. Okay, now if I want to, let's see here. If I want to have my clean sound, but have my tremolo on, that's probably something I might want to do. So let's do this. Save it. Save new rig. I'll do the name scheme opposite. So I'll do trim Beeman HTS July 24. Now all that will not fit in there, but you can see that I have the type of preset or rig it is and the type of amp I have in there. So it's a little bit more straightforward to figure out. Let's turn on the tremolo. I do like having some delay in there. And maybe for this rig, I don't want the delay to be as prominent, so maybe we'll bring it down to like around 10% or so. Cool. I like it. Go back to my clean over here. Back to my crunch. And my lead. And for that lead tone, let's really dump the bass. Maybe scoop some mids a little bit. You can adjust these to your liking if you want. But I'm just basing it off of what I hear in my headphones at the time. Maybe not as much bass off. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Once you get into a full band setting with the kick drum, bass guitar, keys, acoustic guitar, vocals, tambourine, I mean, all the other frequency ranges of other instruments, the guitar is not going to sound as it's not going to sound as thin as maybe you think it is. It is very easy to dial in rigs with tons of bass, tons of scoopy, whatever, because it's more exciting to sound like that when you're by yourself. But then when you get into a full band mix, you're like, wow, my sound just totally disappeared, and now I'm stepping all over the kick drum and the bass guitar and the whatever. So you just do not need as much bass as you really think you do. in there. So M. Miller is in there. What's up, man? Evans, Georgia. I graduated high school from Dade County, Georgia, which is just right below Chattanooga. So I'm not sure where Evans, Georgia is. But that's cool. That's really awesome. Which, do you have a Headrush unit or any other modeler, or what kind of setup do you have? Let's tweak the depth of this tremolo here. For our purposes tonight, we're not going to do the weird like stereo trim thing. We're just going to keep it straight down the middle. Yeah, it's a cool sound. All right, now for me personally, I really like having a really ambient type thing. So we're gonna do new rig, A, MB, Beeman, Toyota of Nashville. It's like a car dealership somewhere. 24. Okay. All right, now I like that. Before I adjust this, I'm going to change the name of these other ones. So what you can do is just double tap, and we'll delete here. We'll insert over here. Bam. So I can see it's a clean Bassman. Then we'll do the same for this. So just doing some renaming here. CR. Golly. Space. BMAN. Space. Okay. Save it. One more time. LD. Bassman. Okay. So now I have the type of rig and the amp I'm using in the front of the name, so you can see more clearly what each one is. Okay. Let's turn off the compressors on these other ones here. Save. Okay, last one. All right, so with this kind of thing, we're going to get rid of the spring reverb. Let's go with the air reverb. We're going to go with the church. And we're going to crank up the time, crank up the mix. The color can be a little dark. We'll put the tails on. need to turn my headphones down. It's a little loud in my ears. All right. Okay, that might be enough for some people. But let's turn on this tape echo. Let's have a nice long delay with some feedback and some mix. Yes, very interesting. Same here, we'll turn the mix up, feedback up pretty high. Okay, I'm gonna add, let's take out the tremolo on this one. And let's add our swell. Yeah, the swell sound here, slow. Kind of the intro of where streets have no name. Okay, let's add in one more. Let's do a shimmery kind of thing. The party verb is really good for that. And there's a nice little subtle pure thing. Actually, we're going to try something different. Sparkle. Francis is in the house. What's up, man? So I found with the party verb, if you kind of keep the gain down, but the mix a little bit higher, all the high-end shimmery stuff is not as in your face. Yeah, it's cool. Oh, yes. Now, one option we can do here. Let's see what happens if I hold down the bank. All right, so the bank. What just happened? Okay. So the bank doesn't do anything if you're in 5-rig mode. You kind of need to be in stomp mode to get there. Otherwise, we can be in hybrid mode. And we can get to like the next rig before and the rig. You know, we got the previous rig and the next rig. But then we have 3 stomps we can choose in the middle, which is kind of neat. that doesn't give you direct access to each rig individually. Let's just say, for example, since I have all these in a set list anyway, I can go like that. I can go back for my ambient. I can go forward for my clean. Go forward again for my crunch. Go forward again for my lead, which is skipped one. For that one, let's turn on the boost. Let's actually experiment with that one real fast. Let's put in the green JRC and let's see what happens. It's still very mid-rangey on that one. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I do like the Sheriff. The treble booster. It's kind of neat. It's what Brian May uses apparently on some stuff. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm trying to find something that gives me a little bit different of a boost. The S1 drive is really good. Let's see what this does here. Tone down. Okay, that one's pretty cool. And it gives you a slightly different boost than, because you already have just a good, like lead sound. And then kicking on the S drive. It just, yeah, it just does it. So, where are we at here? Amp cab gray comp. So it's really taking the first three right here and putting it in the middle switches, which is kind of confusing. But what we'll do is we'll swap this one out for the SD1 drive. We'll put the white boost here, and we'll turn on the put the delay there. How about them apples? Yeah. Delay. Pretty sure I just changed keys like 3 times there, but it's fine. Doing fine. Yep. I'm used to my gig board. Yeah, the gig board is good. Just checking back the comments here. Okay. Input gain on the input block. I really don't do anything with the input block, to tell you the truth. Input gain is always at 0 for me. But just to show you what happens, if you find that your pickup's a little too hot compared to other guitars you may have, let's just bring it down like 3 dB and see if that changes anything at all. Let's bring it down more. Alright, so you can see that the LED here is still going full scale. So the input gain is not adjusting how many bars you're seeing on the screen itself, which is kind of confusing, but let me grab my my S-style guitar over here. Let's go back for a second. I do have the input settings locked, so regardless of what rig I'm on, it's always going to be the same kind of deal. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to raise my mic volume just a little bit. Here we go. Okay, so let's just say, for example, I like that negative 14 dB for this guitar. I can save that and call it Doc. What am I going to save it as? Where's my dash symbol? Weird. There it is. And I was like, wow, where is it? All right, Doc negative 14. So with that said, let's put the tuner on here. I'll grab my other guitar here. Okay, so these are Mark singles from Kiesel, and they are true vintage spec kind of single coil pickups. They are not hot really at all. So now what we can do is we can raise the gain back up like so. You can start hearing the noise coming in there, can't you? Okay, we'll save this as Doc 0. Okay. Whatever. So I feel like that's about the same volume as the humbuckers. But let's just say, for example, these pickups are really too vintagey, and let's boost them up. So you notice that the input gain is not, or the meter is not changing, but the input gain. So really, the input gain is after the meter. So you got your initial volume there, and then the input gain can be lower or less, but it won't affect how much input you're actually giving the Headrush. So. But now we've taken that clean tone that we usually had, and we're driving it a little bit. So I'm probably also giving it a little bit more compression. But what's cool about the locking feature is if you're in your set and you change your guitar and you have a preset already made for that guitar, you just change it once and now it's applied through to all your rigs. You don't have to go in and like dial in different ones for different settings and whatever else. So the padded pedal room, which is Francis, by the way, don't let them fool you. That's how you do that. So I would go ahead and save this as Doc plus. Where's my plus symbol? Plus. Plus 6. Uh-oh. D-O. Oh, that didn't do it right. That's fine. Okay. Enough of my crazy blues something or others. Let's see here. We want the white boost. We want our tape echo and our delay. How about them apples? Okay, next rig. This is our... What was that rig? Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah. We'll go backwards on this. I do want my white boost, my auto swell, and maybe dyne delay. Maybe I want that to be turned on and off. Maybe. So that way I can still do an ambient sound. Okay, I'm okay with that. We can boost it up. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll go previous rig. This is the trim. Let's see, what do we want on this? We want the white boost to be up there, the trim, and the delay. How about that? Yeah, so Tom, I kind of went over that at the beginning of the rig building, but just to reiterate, to maintain a consistent volume between rigs, I always try to have my rig volume at either right at 0 or just slightly below, maybe 1 bar below 0. And years ago, it was like 3 bars below 0. But I think the gig board, pedal board, and MX5 are slightly different. They have the numbers don't show up in the same place. So I just try to keep them around that 0 mark without them going into the yellow and definitely not into the red. And all your rigs are going to stay consistent, and whatever your master volume here is set at, mine's at 9 at the moment. That also allows the sound man, whether you're playing at church or a bar or club that you're always playing at, every time you show up to the gig to play, you know you're sending consistent signal every single time, and you're not sending one rig too low, another rig too high, and so forth. So I seem to always have to bring the output block down. If you're using an impulse response, most impulse responses aren't optimized out of the box. You have to bring them down manually. So how I get around that is when I use my Doctor McFarland IRs, which you can get from Sonic DNA, link in the description. Wink, wink, hint, hint. I keep my IR volume around -12, and that allows me to have the right amount of volume without having to adjust the rig volume too much. But yes, otherwise, I think in the past when you first got a Headrush, all the rigs would be like slamming the red, and I just had no idea why you would even want to do that. It's kind of dumb, but I think keeping it around that 0 mark, no matter what number you have to tell it to be, the 0 point is where you need to be consistent with. So now the alternate output can be whatever it is, but as long as your main output is fine, then that's what you want. Alright, now, let's say that's a little too barky. And we can go in with a 10-band EQ, and we can do like an amp shaper preset. Maybe we can bring down some of those mid frequencies. Yeah, we can definitely try that one. We can also do maybe just a plain graphic EQ. That one everyone has. And let's see here. Maybe we cut some mids here. Maybe boost some high mids. Now that mid frequency is about 800K or 800 hertz. So maybe not too much. Then the low mids is about 300, 310 or so. Let's get a little smiley face going with our EQ. And we'll also bring down the gain here. Okay, I am liking that really well. Let's go to our previous one. Yeah. Alright, let's go back to this other EQ. I like this one. Let's save it as Doc Smile. And then when we go to our other rig, over here, we can add that in. And we can pull up our Doc Smile. right, let's do the same thing for this one. Let's just go Doc Smile all the way across. So it just kind of clears out some of the mid-range mud and treating it more like a studio EQ. Because yes, you have the amp in the room, you have the microphone on it, and now you can go in after the fact and adjust the EQ to shape it really however you want. So that 10-band EQ is really powerful, but the graphic EQ is just as good. So just as good. No problem, Tom. Glad to have you here. -6. Yeah. Yeah, I would even dare to say bringing down even more, like -12. That's usually what I do. Let me bring up my headphones just a little bit more. Cool, I like it. Let's see what we can do with our other my tremolo sound. Let's add the same EQ, Doc Smile, but maybe not raise the high end as much on this one. Yes, sir. Okay. Go to the next rig, and we'll have to pull these over here. We'll add in our EQ. Remind me, Tom, which board do you have? Necro Dogs. What's up, man? Okay, so there's some Bassman rigs for you. Now, let me leave it up to the jury here. What kind of rigs would you want to see me build in the next? It's already been an hour and a half. In the next 10 or 15 minutes. Let me know. Let me know what you want. Santeria. Alright, Santeria has a very clean sound to it. So for example, if we even did this kind of thing. What key are we in? Oh, I see. I don't know how to play it. The main thing about playing certain songs is there's really no song that has just an oddball category. Every song either has to have a clean sound, a crunch sound, or a lead sound. Now, depending on the type of guitar that you have, and really how close you actually want to get to the song itself, you can literally pick any clean amp and get away with playing that song. It doesn't matter if you have humbuckers, single coils, Fishmans, EMG pickups. I mean, whatever it is, you know. Okay. XXX just joined, so let's go in here. So what we did tonight was we made some Bassman rigs, and just to let you guys know, I am doing a tonal analysis course on my website, and I'm doing it that way because I can really dive in deeper and play the song back in real time and recreate the tones in real time in a video form and not be copyright striked by YouTube because I'm playing the song, the original recording all over YouTube, right? I can do whatever I want on my private website. So if you want like more song specific type rigs, that's going to be in the tonal analysis course. And I already have a handful I have planned. I'm probably going to sit down this weekend and actually start doing that. So that way for the month of August, we already have some songs and or bands kind of hashed out and figured out that way. So, but yes, I mean, Santeria by Sublime. I mean, it's just a clean tone. Just have a good clean tone and learn to play the part. That's the most important thing. If you play the part convincingly, you can get away with not having the exact same, studio recorded sound out there. See, I don't know any Judas Priest either. So, Pink Floyd patch. I mean, once again, you're going with a clean sound, maybe edge of breakup kind of thing, and then you got a delay and some reverb, and that's about it. So, but for example, let's do a new one here. So when I think Pink Floyd, I'm kind of thinking edge of breakup, kind of voxy, kind of high watt kind of deal. Even though the Headrush doesn't have a high watt option, but they do have the MS30, which is a matchless kind of thing. So it kind of gives you in the vein of like a it's not quite a Vox, but it's not quite a Marshall kind of deal. Let's do a B30. Let's do a Dyne 7 here. See, the copyright police is already going to come get me for this. So we got that edge or breakup sound kind of going on there. Not too bad. We'll check the output. Maybe raise the output a little bit. Okay, we will add a reverb. Let's do an air reverb. We'll make it just ambient. So this is where I really have to dive in and listen to the song and break it down a little bit more. But just as long as you have some kind of a little bit of reverb going on, really nice dyne delay, dock dyne. So you got the dotted eighth kind of thing going on. It might be too much reverb. Let's go with the overdrive for this one can be a blues breaker kind of deal. This pedal stinking rocks. Now, another key to playing Floydish type stuff is, I mean, you really need to have an S-style guitar with nice single coil pickups. I mean, you can do it with a Les Paul or something with a humbucker, but I mean, you really just need. You can't really even do it with a Telecaster. You really have to have a Strat type guitar to really pull it off. That's just the way it is. I'm going back through here. Check them out if you don't know them. Know what? Oh, sounds like a merman. Okay, I have to check them out. For Deluxe Reverb and Fender Output Reverb. A replacement for Deluxe Reverb and Fender Outboard Reverb. A replacement for Deluxe Reverb. Yeah, I mean, there's a Deluxe Reverb in the Headrush. So, there's that. Let's call this one HTS July 24 Floyd-ish. How about that? So a Deluxe Reverb is going to be this. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Amp, Headrush, and we want the Black Lux normal or the Vibe. It doesn't really matter. We'll do the normal for now. And then we'll also go in and choose the, which one? Black Panel Lux is what it is. Same kind of deal. We'll add in a reverb. Let's just do a Hall for this one. Okay, just like any good Deluxe, I mean, with the volume at 50%, which is like about 5 on the dial, that's already pretty cooking sound right there. So you'll have to dump some bass to clear out some of that woofiness. Outboard reverb, yep. But let's dial it back to around 3.5 or so. And then let's check our input. I am +6 still on this. We'll raise the volume up. Okay. Maybe boost this back up to like 40. We do have some nice tremolo in here. And what's really neat is we can also add this to a switch. Let's name this HTS July 24 Deluxe. Okay, so hardware assign, hit the plus symbol. We're going to find our amp and hit vibrato. So now that you have the ability to, as long as you're in, maybe you want to be in hybrid mode, we can add the vibrato there. And after we add some more elements here, once again, we can add our delay. Let's go with a Bucket Brigade delay on this one. It's kind of cool. Replace that cab, and let's add in our, I really like that Sheriff overdrive. It is pretty great. It's probably my favorite on the Headrush, honestly. If I'm being really honest here. Bring down the mix to this delay. Hardware assign, Sheriff, bam. So we can turn all that off if we want. Let me grab my Telecaster real fast. Alright, so we got the humbucker, we got the single coil S-style, now we got the T-style guitar here. T-style guitar. Now, I am dialing this in according to the input gain. So if I bring this back down to 0, will the amp level suffice? Right, we're still pretty low here, so turn up some bass. Probably need the tune. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's tune this real fast on this reverse headstock. So yeah, just to reiterate what I was saying earlier, listen to a song. Let's take Metallica for example. I mean, just because it's the most stark contrast I can think of. When you listen to a Metallica song, especially like Master of Puppets or something, you're not going to be choosing a Fender clean amp to play Metallica with, unless it's the intro for, you know, some like clean intro kind of thing or something, because you're not going to be going, right? You're just not going to do it. You're going to pick a Mesa Boogie or some like Soldano or JCM 800, just something with a high gain kind of sound that gets you in that ballpark. And I mean, you're never going to sound exactly like the record, But you can use the graphic EQ after the amp, and you can shape the sound like a studio EQ would, and that can go a long way. So let me check the comments here. He's all about the surf, dude. Oh yes. Well, if you want surf, then the Bassman rig I made at the very first of the live stream with the spring reverb, that should be pretty good for you. All right, so yeah, let's go back so you can hear the patches. Okay. Now, if you drag your finger down, you can see all the rigs we've made so far. So here's our Bassman. Okay. And here is our crunch. Actually, this is our clean. Just a nice clean sound. Crunch. This is our lead. Okay. Here's our trim. Just if you like a nice clean sound with a tremolo going on. Okay, and here is our ambient sound. Okay, pretty good. And then we have our Floydish. Whoops, whatever it is. I don't play in a cover band, so I don't memorize all these songs all that great. All right, so if you want a real spring reverb, let's throw that in. Throw that one in for you. Like I did before, with just like a standard. Kind of washy. We'll take the diffusion off. Bring the mix down just slightly. And we'll need to raise the volume on this sucker. Get it right up there to that yellow mark, or that 0. And then we're going to do volume dynamics. No, we're going to do compressor. The dyne comp, and just a good studio compressor here. Okay, so you can do that to taste, whatever you need. I'm telling you, that Sheriff Overdrive just really, it does it for me. It hits so many spots. Cool. All right, checking comments here. Checking comments. Green Day. Oh, geez. You must be in a cover band or something, dude. Uh-oh. Elizabeth's in the house. Guys, we got to behave, okay? Elizabeth is here. How's it going out in California, Elizabeth? That's pretty bright for me. I'm going to turn down the treble a good amount. Where's my my gauge here? So I messed up, guys. I ordered some short guitar screws for my saddles on a certain guitar from monsterbolts.com, which is a suggestion from Philip McKnight of Know Your Gear podcast. And yeah, they weren't the right size. So I paid $176 for the screws itself, and then $4.99 for shipping. So it was like $6 or $7. And then I get them and they're the wrong size. So then I had to order the right ones today, which was another like $2, and then add the shipping. So it was like $6 something. So I was doing like $12 on guitar saddle screws. Whatever. It's dumb. But that's a good lesson that if you don't know what you're ordering, maybe just email the company first, let them know what you have, and they can suggest something so you don't waste time and money. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm sitting at about 1.5. The treble side can probably come down a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, that's a good mellow deluxe sound right there. Going my first cruise. Oh, cool. First cruise. We did a cruise a long time ago on our honeymoon. Then I think we did like a second one sometime, but they're fun. They're very fun. All you can eat usually. They have shows and entertainment and lounging around and dancing and whatever else. So I want to sell this guitar. I really do. But every time I pick it up, it just feels amazing. So I kind of need the money, but I also want to keep it. It's a struggle for sure. The only thing I don't like about Telecasters is this switch right here. I don't like how it goes side to side. And when it gets over there, it's too close to the volume knob. And it's hard to get your finger in there to like switch it back. I attempted at one point to order a different plate so I can have like a 3-way toggle instead of like a side to side, like a blade style switcher. More of like a Les Paul style switcher in that spot, and that would make way more sense to me. Otherwise, I guess you could flip the plate around and put the volume here so you can like reach it easier to like do volume swells, and then have the tone, and then have the switcher back here, which may work better. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting to experiment with that. Yes, we have known each other a very long time. From a app that we will not discuss. It's not a big deal, but it's just kind of funny and stupid if you think about it. The internet brings people together in so many different ways. So many different ways. So many. So there's the Bassman sound. There's a deluxe sound, which has a nice big full low end going on with it, which is cool. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Part of that is we have a 4x10 cab on the Bassman, which gives us a different sound. We can probably get away with like a ribbon. So there's that low end kind of coming in there. keep reaching for my tremolo arm and it's not there. I like the R21. Let's go ahead and switch these things around here. Let's see here. It's just a little too much. Now, if you're going to switch the mic out to get a rounder top end, then you may want to lower the bass a little bit more on the amp. So it's still not as boomy. Like for example, here's our lead sound. We got some big delay going on here. So depending on which headrush you have, and the number of switches you have, and the number of maybe scenes you may want to set up, you can utilize all the different drives and whatnot, or you can just keep it really simple, like I have here. Here's the trem. See that all that low end kind of comes roaring in there, which is nice. Especially for the trebly kind of telly sound. Cool, I like it. Let's go one more here. Let's make sure we got our 121 there. Raise the rig volume. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't. I am really sure it doesn't. It's been long gone. Long gone. Yeah, remember you told me. Yeah, it's funny. It's good to see you, Elizabeth. Have a good night, okay? Have fun on your cruise. Yeah, it sounds good with the swell on. But when the swell is off, all that verb, it's just a little too much. Let's dial back the mix on these just a little bit. Just a bit. Nothing too crazy. Kind of like Bob Ross in his painting. Just little happy little trees here. Nothing too crazy. Bob Ross. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of neat. It's a neat sound. Do the same thing here. Maybe do like a 121. You can also do 2 times the cab, and we can do like a 57 on one and then a 121 on the other. But that's not a it gives you more of a stereo spread kind of sound. But you are blending that 57 and 121 kind of deal, just on 2 separate cabs, even though they are the same cab. Oh, fellas, guys and gals, whoever's out there, I have no idea. But, I don't know why I keep changing keys. Here's my Deluxe. Let's do the same thing for this one. So on this cab, we're going to have the 121. And then we'll hit the little 2 times thing. And we'll do the 57 on there. But for this rig, we will have the rig width at a 0%. So we're essentially saying, okay, if I bring the amp, I still to this day do not know what the output gain and the amp gain do. It's kind of dumb, but I'll bring the output gain on this one down. So you can kind of blend like both microphones. Interestingly enough. So you got the bright sound, and then you have the more woofy 121. So if you don't mind having all your delays and stuff not be, stereo, you can have the cabs kind of blending different microphones and stuff. So. All right, what else, guys? We've been going for 2 hours now, and I'm just getting started. No, I'm kidding. I need to edit some video I shot last night so I can have some videos up for the weekend. But next week, my friends, I am doing all Headrush videos. I've kind of taken turns doing like Kemper, Tonemaster Pro. I got rid of all my fractal stuff, though technically I still have a fractal expression pedal over there, which I'm going to keep for sentimental reasons. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm just kind of making my rounds doing different videos on different gear. But next week is going to be all Headrush. And if you are a part of the Headrush tone sculpting course or have bought the bundle, which means you get all the Headrush products I have on my website for one price, by the way, you'll be seeing new videos in the Headrush tone sculpting course, going over new amps, new pedals that I haven't gone over yet. And it's just my way of going through each little element within the Headrush and dialing it in and letting you know like the best practices of, hey, if you do this, you can sound really great kind of stuff. So if you're interested in the Headrush bundle or any of the individual Headrush products I have on the website, then go to drmcfarlandstudios.com and check it out. And it's a one-time fee for whichever one you choose. and you own that for life, and you get all the free updates and whatever else I add to that product for life. So it's just a way to help support what I do here on YouTube and on the internet land. And you get something in return. I get something in return. It's a win-win for all of us. So it's a win-win, man. Something's out of tune. Something is out of tune, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, I may. Let me try this real fast. Let me try it out. I may lower. I'm going to lower the top strings here just a smidge. See what that does. See what that does. Because I want to. Alright, so we're still sitting right above 2 there. Let's tune it back. There's also some stuff called GHS Fast Fret. I've been using this stuff for years and years and years. And it works well. So if you have a local guitar shop, I definitely suggest going in and buying some. Or if you want to use my affiliate link to Amazon or Sweetwater, Zounds, wherever you like to shop, buy yourself some fast fret, maybe some string cleaner type stuff, maybe some cloths to wipe things down. Like I got this thing here. What is this one? What do we got? This is Music Nomad kind of deal. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I like the way this makes my strings feel. Also, I like the way it makes me feel. Makes me feel good. I'm being an idiot. Yeah, just take it, wipe it on. Whoop. Especially if you have really acidic hands. And you don't want your strings to turn all green. Then this is a great way to keep them nice and clean. And get that fresh string feel. Oh, yeah. Nice and slick. Let's wipe it off just a little bit here. Dwight, man, thanks for coming in and hanging out. Thanks for doing it. It was fun. Good night, everyone. That's right. All right, any last questions before I hang it up and edit a video at 10:50 at night? Ooh, that's a lot of boost. That's a lot of boost. That's a lot of boost. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm not gonna put the boost in there. I'm gonna put that nice sheriff in there, which I know the legacy units do not have, but I'll make it up to you. Okay, so that way, if you want to stay on your clean rig and just turn on and off different stuff, then you can. And with that said, we'll also put the tremolo down here like that. So we can turn on our tape echo. Right, it's kind of more of our slapbacky kind of rockabilly thing. Okay, we can turn on the tremolo. Wow. Done with that. It's a little too much. Cool. I could definitely stay on that rig for quite a while. Alright, I'm going to quit messing with them. And then I'll recreate them and upload them all to the site. Alright, Tom. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. It has been fun for sure. And let me know what you want to see next month. I kind of just decided on a whim today. Like, alright, I'll do a Bassman kind of thing. And that'll be fun. And then one more product I'll be adding to the HTS bundle or the Headrush bundle is I'm going through every single amp, effects pedal, cab, everything. I'm going through and I'm adding block presets. So like settings that I use all the time. I'm adding them in. And then I will download those and place them on my website within that bundle. Or you can buy them separately, whatever you want. And what that's going to do is when you load them up to your Headrush, whenever you go to a certain amp like the Matchless or the Bassman or whatever, you'll see my block presets already there, ready to go. And instead of dialing them in yourself, you can just choose one of my presets and make rigs way faster if you want. So I'll be probably done with that by the probably here the next week or two, and I'll get those uploaded to the site and add it to the bundle. So all of you guys who already have the bundle, you're just getting even more value added for that one price that you paid for, whenever it was. So yeah, it'll be cool. Yeah, I like it. I love it. I'm going out of tune again. I may need to change strings on this thing. It's very possible. Alright guys, I gotta go edit a video, and it's been fun. So Headrush, Kiesels all over the place. I do have some new PRS guitars I'm going to review for Zounds.com. So once again, if you want to support the channel, head to the website, buy a product from there that applies to whatever you want to learn. Also, if you're shopping online, Amazon, Sweetwater, or Zounds.com, you can click on any of my affiliate links and I get a small commission from your purchase. So that's another great way to support what I do. All right, guys, have a great night. I am Dr. McFarland, and I will see you in the next video.